Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Lounge radio show, where we expose the myths of entrepreneurship and release the weight of it all. Real people, real issues, and real talk with expert solutions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as we welcome our host, Alicia Brown, the Joy Guru.
Hello. This is Alicia Brown, the Joy Guru, your host for the Entrepreneur's Lounge radio show and podcast. As always, I invite you to this episode of CEO Talk. This is where I can take that brief pause and provide a quick dose of empowerment and transformation for our CEOs and entrepreneurs. Now, of course, the first and third Thursday of every month, you're able to listen to our full shows, and I bring on those experts for a particular topic. But today, for our CEO Talk, there's just you and me. So I want to take this moment to ask you, what do you believe? And when I say what do you believe, I am saying specifically as far as your success and your business. You know, the saying, the cliche is what you believe you will achieve. And that sounds great, but there is so much meat in that, and it's true. Now, I know some of you love affirmations. And, of course, there is something about affirming. There is something about our words having power. There are certain principles. And there are people, despite what their spiritual or religious beliefs are, can achieve great success because they understand the power of words, they understand the principles, and they apply them. But in life, it all goes back to what do you believe? We live in an age where people are so used to saying this and projecting themselves a certain way. You know, we're taught from a young age the way you should act and carry yourself when you're out in public, how you should act perhaps in church, or how you should act when you're at a special dinner. We're always taught the different ways that we're supposed to portray ourselves, putting our best foot forward in order to get what we want or in order to be accepted. And sometimes we take that into adulthood, and, you know, there's that saying, fake it till you make it. But you know what? Nothing could be further from the truth. Because despite what you say, despite what your dialogue, your languaging is, if you don't believe it, you will always fall into problems. So my friend makes these handmade crafts, and there were these 3 bracelets that caught my eye. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy all 3 because I want to wear them because they're great daily reminders. And sometimes that's a tip for you. You need to carry around or have right in front of your eyes daily those things that you want to affirm in your life for your goals. So I did that, and I thought they were 3 pivotal lessons that I needed to share with you as far as your success, your mindset, and your beliefs. So here they are. The first bracelet says, she believed she could, so she did. And it really boils down to that. What do you believe? And take this in particular to your entrepreneurship, to your business, to your what your goals are, what you're striving for. But you can even do this in your personal life, in any area. What do you believe? Because I go over this sometimes with my clients. You know, they see all this potential, and, you know, us creatives, we can have all these visions and, oh, my goodness, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. We'll lay out all the options. It's almost like we're in the clouds. And I let them do that because vision and dreaming is very important. But then I bring them back down to earth and go, well, what do you believe? Do you believe you're the one to do that? Do you believe you can get that done? How? When? In what time frame? Those are the questions to answer. And I'm not saying that you need to do everything yourself. Of course not. But what do you believe? Because some people are almost trying to convince themselves, not really convince you, although it may sound like it. But if you don't believe you could really be successful, if you really don't believe you could be a millionaire, then saying I'm the next millionaire in my family means nothing because you don't believe it. And unfortunately, if you keep going with that languishing or doing different steps just to keep up a public appearance, what you'll find is despite what levels of success you achieve, a lot of times you are sabotaging yourself. So you may be that one that's always starting things, but you never see them to completion. And as you start experiencing success, it feels like, well, it just sort of happened. Things just sort of dropped in my life, in my lap. This wasn't even what I wanted. Right, because you really didn't believe you could achieve it. And you're going through life kind of haphazard versus really sitting down and planning and strategizing. The next bracelet I bought said, God is within her, she will not fail. Now, this isn't to preach any type of spiritual belief, whatever. What you believe, whatever your core is, whatever your foundation is your business. But my core is definitely spirituality and God. So, to add to what I believe, then I add to why I believe that. I believe there's a divine purpose in my life. I believe I was created for a particular purpose. Now, there's a lot of things I'm good at. I have a lot of wonderful skill sets. And as a creative, there's a lot of different areas I can go in. But I'm fully aware of what my purpose is. And I'm always checking the various things I'm involved in to say, is this in alignment with my purpose? If not, and especially if you're devoting a lot of time to those areas, you will find that you need to reanalyze things and re-strategize. Some things are nice things to do, but you're allowing them to be distractions. You're allowing them to occupy too much of your time. Some of us are so busy and busy work and doing good deeds that we are completely off center from what we were supposed to be doing. That is very dangerous for success. That's very dangerous for achievement. Now, you may go in one way and find that your heart leads you another way. You may change what you're doing. There's no problem with that. But to be haphazard or to allow distractions or certain things because I see everybody else is doing that, now let me shift and do that, that may not be the best decision for you. And see, a person that is affirmed, a person that's assured of what they're supposed to do, a person that knows their purpose and has a direct path to achieve it, they have a strong foundation. Otherwise, if your foundation is kind of shaky, then so are you. You won't be able to sustain. You'll have great difficulty and challenges in what to do next when something does not go your way. Check your foundation. And is your foundation strong enough for what you believe? The third thing, and this is very important, because some of you are great with that. You know your purpose. You have all your plans and strategies laid out. You have a firm foundation. You probably have overthought things or over-strategized. And here's the third thing. Where's the fun in it? Where's the joy in it? Because there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of curveballs as it pertains to success. There's going to be some epic failures, some epic things that go wrong, and you're going to need to be able to readjust and recover and remain focused. If you're laboriously just doing things and it's always, well, you know what, I can have serious sacrifices for 10 years because at the end of 10 years, I'm going to have this big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And, it's okay. I can put everything in my life on hold. I can, not deal with family. I cannot have fun. I cannot enjoy life. I cannot go on vacations. I can just completely shut off all the fun in my life because there's this big pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's not a healthy mindset. That's not even living. What you're saying is, I can die for 10 years to get this big thing at the end. And what a lot of people find out is that big pot of gold doesn't exist. And they've wasted all this time in sacrificing for nothing. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to sacrifice. I'm not saying that you don't have to readjust your lifestyle. Maybe some of the luxuries you had, you're putting aside and downsizing so you can achieve your goal and invest that somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with that. But putting your life on hold, having no pleasure, no enjoyment, no balance, no fun to achieve this lofty goal is not good. So that third bracelet I purchased, to go with my third point, says this quote from Laurel Thatcher Ulrich: well-behaved women rarely make history. And that's one of the things we need to remind ourselves in life, as well as me, entrepreneurs and CEOs. You have to go against the grain. You have to be the one to stick your neck out. You have to go against the status quo. Sometimes the pleasantries and the manners we were taught as children, they were good in one way and they hurt us in another way, especially if you're a woman or a minority. You have to not always be afraid to speak up sometimes and speak up against the status quo. All the crowd is going this way, but one of the things about being a CEO, an influencer, an entrepreneur, you're the one that takes risks. You're the one that when everything is optimal, when it's this big, big, big success, big rewards, you're the one that may get the applause. But you're also the one that has to be willing. When there might be some embarrassment for that decision, when everything didn't go as planned, you're okay with that. Because you made the decision at the time that you thought was the best, and if it doesn't work according to the way you hope, you know how to readjust. It doesn't end everything. It doesn't mean everything is all over. It doesn't mean you're incompetent. It means you stuck your neck out there in order to achieve something and you took a risk, and the risk at this moment did not pay off. Okay, what's the next thing you need to do? CEOs, influencers, top executive leaders know how to stick their neck out there. They know how to take risks, almost unapologetically, if they're going against the status quo, because there's a reason. They have the vision, they have the forecasting, they have the foresight. And a lot of times, people will not follow what they said or believe in them or think they're a little crazy until it's the big payoff. That's why they're the CEO and they're at the top. So remember those three things for your level of success you desire, for the accomplishment that you believe that you want, for the purpose you were created for, in particular with entrepreneurship, your business, or your vision. What do you believe? Because when you know what you believe, then other questions that are necessary, actually the question of every action is yes or no. Are you in or out? It's completely black and white. There is no gray area. Yes or no. If you answer yes or no, then your action will be in harmony with either your yes or your no. Same thing, in or out. You're either playing or you're not. You'll never win the game if you don't play. But if your decision is not to play, then you know why you didn't win. It's not up in the air. It's not a thing of confusion. You didn't win the game because you decided not to play. It becomes very clear. You plan accordingly. And then what's your foundation? You can't achieve anything without action, without steps, without strategy, without resources. Your foundation needs to support your belief. It needs to be strong enough to feed your belief. And then finally, are you willing to make history? Are you willing to go against the status quo? Are you willing to take risk? Thank you for tuning into this episode of CEO Talk. And as always, you can follow us at thejoyguru.net as well as on our social media pages for the Entrepreneurs Lounge radio show. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Entrepreneurs Lounge, where we expose the myths of entrepreneurship and release the weight of it all. Real people, real issues, and real talk with expert solutions. Make sure you stay tuned to our Facebook page and thejoyguru.net for show updates, announcements, and to learn how you can be a guest on our show.